We all know that owning a small business means you wear many hats, but sometimes you really need an extra pair of hands. Upwork is how good companies find great and trusted freelance talent. With more than 2 decades of experience, with the simple and ambitious goal of pioneering a better way of working, companies at every stage turn to Upwork to get things done and find more flexibility in staffing key projects and initiatives. They access a global marketplace filled with top talent in IT, web dev, marketing, and more. Posting a job on Upwork is easy. With no cost to join, you can register, browse freelancer profiles, and get help drafting a job post or even book a consultation. From there, you connect with freelancers that get you and can easily hire them and take your business to the next level. Visit Upwork.com right now and post your job for free. That's Upwork.com to post your job for free and connect with top talent ready to help your business grow. That's UPWORK.com. Upwork.com.
Lowe's has the Labor Day deals you need to give your home a new look. Buy one, get one free select interior paint via Visa gift card rebate. Then, add the final touch with 2 for $8 on select 2.5 or 3-quart mums. Refresh your home and save big while doing it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 9/3. Mums offer in-store only. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details. Lowe's knows that no matter your paint project, saving is at the top of your list. That's why when you shop today, you can buy one, get one free. Select Valspar and HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams. One-coat coverage interior paints via rebate. Shop these deals in-store or online today at Lowe's. We help, you save. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. Offer valid 8/21 through 9/3.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Hey friends, Chris Merrill in for Mo Kelly tonight. KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk. You can listen anytime on demand on the iHeartRadio app. Robin back in the tech director's chair tonight. Of course, Tawala, the greatest producer you'll ever meet, and Mark Ronner.
Present and accounted for. Let's do it.
And I got to give you full credit. You opened your newscast by saying, do you like ice in your port? And I got what you were saying there, my friend.
That's because you're no vulgarian. I'll have you know.
True. I love that. I love that. Well done. Well done.
Thank
nice
you.
Little
Thank
play
you
on
very
words.
much.
What a disappointing morning as I woke up and I started getting all these breaking news alerts about the shooting in Minneapolis. And I don't know about you guys, and I feel kind of guilty about this, but it's true. I'm not going to lie. I get these breaking news alerts and I go, oh, another mass shooting. And isn't that horrible? I've become desensitized to it.
Well, they happen so often, but I'm not quite desensitized yet. I'm still horrified each time it happens.
Yeah, I'm horrified that it happens, but to what end? I mean, no one's giving up their guns. No one is changing any laws. Nothing is going to happen except for the obligatory thoughts and prayers. And we see even today that everyone is tired of the thoughts and prayers. People want something done. And at that point, when you say we need something done, everything stops. So yes, Chris, when I saw the message this morning, I said, oh, okay. Yeah. Not that my heart doesn't go out. My child goes to a Christian academy.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
This scared me. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I need to go down there and pick my daughter up and take her home.
Right. It hits close to home. And it's funny you mentioned the thoughts and prayers. The mayor of Minneapolis said, don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying. And so that's so useless. The thing that drives me bonkers, and it's my first observation anytime there's a shooting, but this one especially, and I think this one rose to the top because there have been other mass shootings. Even this week we've had mass shootings that have gone on, right? And that's the tragic reality of the world that we're in. Like, this is not the first mass shooting of the week. And so what strikes me is you made mention nobody's changing any gun laws, and I'm not for taking guns away from everybody. I'm not somebody who's all about banning firearms, but I am about things like, are there reasonable compromises? For instance, if you are a gun owner and you like to use it for sport, I'm all about that. I grew up in a very rural area. Firearms were tools, and they were also used for sport, right? That's what I grew up with. That's my background. That's my understanding, and that's kind of in my core. So I'm not somebody who's like, there's no point. And I know there's a big divide between people that grew up in rural areas and people that grew up in urban areas. In urban areas, firearms seem to be all about doing damage to other people or intimidating others. Rural areas, they're a tool and they're a sporting good. Okay. So I come from the latter. However, I don't think it's unreasonable to say that that we should have limits on magazine sizes. Again, if you are a sport shooter or if you want to have a firearm for defense, I don't know that you need to have large capacity magazines for either one of those things.
Well, you might run up against a really badass deer and you need a lot of ammo.
You're not kidding. Also, they get very violent sometimes.
Let me just add one thing to the thoughts and prayers things. If you're sincere about having recourse to prayers, the Bible says faith without works is dead. If you just have prayers but don't do anything about it, it's absolutely meaningless.
I mean, how do you disagree with that?
I mean, I'll stop you when you tell a lie.
Right. Yeah. No lies told. Right on. So the other thing that I think really catches me and frustrates me to no end is that you have people that go, you can't impede on any firearms rights. And the concern is that if you give an inch, somebody's going to try to take a mile. And I understand where that concern comes from. I absolutely do. So I say, look, let's limit magazine sizes. People go that, it starts with magazine sizes and then it turns to this and then it becomes this and then it becomes this. So they're making the slippery slope argument, but we've also seen slippery slope things happen in the past in other, not necessarily firearms, but other places. So I understand where the fear comes from. However, what we have too is on the other side, they go, it's not the firearm, it's the individual. And the problem here is mental health. We keep hearing about how it's a mental health issue. It's a mental health issue. It's a mental health issue. And then we cut funding for mental health services. We cut funding for mental health education. We do everything we can to undermine the things that could be potential solutions to a mental health crisis going on here in the United States. That just frustrates me to no end.
We literally have someone in charge of the department that regulates medicine for individuals that are suffering from various mental health crises, cutting funding to meds and research and all of that. So to me, it's a joke. When I hear this, it upsets me to no end when I hear these reports and, we got to do this, we got to do that. Stop it. Stop the performative radio or television talking because you don't really care. Because if we cared, we would actually fight to do something about it. And we're not. We're not demanding more of our politicians. We're not demanding more of local and state government. We're just not. We wanted to, my heart. No, I don't want to hear about your heart. You actually don't care.
Again, I'll stop you when I hear a lie.
Also, if you don't mind me adding this, just objectively, the problem is not mental health because the United States doesn't have any worse mental health issues than every other country on the face of the planet.
Yeah, I mean, it's all I'm doing in my point, and I don't want to even go down too far down that road, Mark. I mean, again, you're not wrong, but if one political argument is we have to remove firearms, and the other political argument is no, it's a mental health issue, we're not addressing either one of those things, and that's where I get so freaking frustrated. It doesn't matter which party is in charge, which leads me to believe that as callous and as heartless as this is going to sound, politicians don't want to solve this issue because solving this issue takes away from their performative opportunities and it takes away from their chances to fundraise. And the last thing they want to do is find solutions to divisive issues. Look, if we were in a situation where we said, okay, the problem is kids are dying and I'm willing to try anything, then you try one thing or another or a combination of things and you say, okay, we are going to limit magazine sizes. We're gonna put stronger laws around access, whatever it is, right? You'd say, okay, we're going to do that. Even if I don't like it, we're going to try that. And if the numbers don't come down, then we're going to try something different. But we don't try anything, and then we end up with this situation. But why did this one rise to the top? First of all, you had 17 people injured, 2 kids were dead. But we have mass shootings far too often where 2 kids dying doesn't really even make the front page. This one had a number of other elements attached. First of all, it was an attack at a religious facility while services were going on, right? So that's one. Okay, so these are all compounding factors that make this clickbaity. 2, the shooter was born Robert, was going by Robin. So now all of a sudden we go, oh my goodness, the threat of the trans community is here, and now you've just amplified the boogeyman. 3, the shooters seem to have a number of notes written on the magazines that said things like kill Trump or Trump must die or whatever the verbiage was, and where is your God? And so this becomes this was all politically motivated. And boy, if the politicians weren't performative before, if they weren't trying to fundraise off this disaster in the past, they've got every reason to do it now because we're being targeted. So now, not only do you have actual victims of gun violence, you also have performative victims. We're being attacked for our beliefs. And now we can amplify it even more. Now we can talk about how our lives are under threat because we support this politician or that politician. And then the next shooter that comes out is going to be somebody who's on the other side of that political aisle. It's going to be somebody who decides that they are going to wipe out a gay nightclub because they're doing it in the name of God, and they're doing it because America has become full of sodomites. And then everybody goes to their corners, nothing gets done, and it's the same nonsense round and round and round and round and round. It's a merry-go-round, and the victims here are children. In this case, in Minneapolis, it was an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old, as well as the 17 other people who were injured in the gunplay. It just frustrates me to no end. I wanted to make sure we were able to opine on that to start the program tonight, and thank you for taking a moment and letting us vent on it. I'm just incredibly frustrated, and I know for a fact I'm not alone. I know that the rest of the country feels this way, and I also know that an awful lot of people go, I don't even want to hear it. Is it in my neighborhood? Was it my kid? Then nobody's going to do anything about it, and it doesn't affect me personally. Let me get on with my day. And that's the sad thing about where we are. The apathy has taken over with the rest of the country because the politicians have turned this into such a kabuki display of their own bravado and insincere, performative. That's the best word, Tuwala. You nailed it. There's just this performative sympathy that's out there. Just absolute trash. Either do something or quit taking a microphone. Oh, there was one other thing. The Democratic National Committee is meeting in Minneapolis this week, too. So it adds one more layer of the political debate back and forth. It also means that we had a number of national news crews that were already in the city, which means that getting the word out on this horrendous shooting is even easier for the national news media. Speaking of performative, we've been assured this is not for show. This is true. It's been almost like 6 months since the last time somebody tried to split California into multiple states. Oh, and it's happening again. Why this time? Next. Chris Merrill in from Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Mo Kelly Show. KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk. All right. Mark was looking up some stats there. I was looking up some stats, too. I was looking at mass shootings. Let's see. Mass shooting is anywhere there were more than 4 victims. Correct. Right? That's what defines it?
Correct.
So I'm looking at this. So obviously this one this morning in Minneapolis, 2 children killed, 17 victims, which is a pretty sizable. Suspect took his own life as well. Let me see. We had one in Minneapolis as well yesterday. 1 killed, 6 injured. We had one in L.A. yesterday, 5 people injured. We had one in Kansas City 3 days ago, 2 killed, 3 injured. Maryland, New York, it goes on and on and on. That's just this week. Just this week. And none of them involved any trans shooters. Mark, you were looking up some stats on the violence from the trans community, who seem to be, people like to blame the trans community. What is that about?
Well, it seems to be about scapegoating and punching down because the trans community is responsible for less than 0.1% of mass shootings, according to information that I've been able to find.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I think the only other one that I can even think of, there was one in Nashville where it made national headlines. You're going to make national headlines if the shooter is someone who is already a targeted member. So if you have a shooter who is undocumented, all of a sudden it's going to make headlines. It's going to get picked up. If the shooter is trans, it's going to get picked up. and someone is going to try to connect the dots and say that being trans leads to mass shootings. And, of course, as you just pointed out, it doesn't.
No, as far as I can tell from the information that I have at hand, cis males are responsible for about 98% of mass shootings.
How dare you?
I just outed myself.
Don't do that.
Sorry.
What's the matter with you? I feel like you're coming at me. You're coming at me.
Yeah, I didn't mean to threaten you. Was that a microaggression or just a plain old aggression?
Yes.
Which one? Okay.
That's what my wife says. My wife likes to say, "You're coming at me. You're coming at me.
Get out of my grill, man."
Yeah. Oh, you're coming at me. I go, honey, are we going to meet up with friends this weekend like you talked about? Why are you putting this on me? Why are you coming at me? Yes, dear. Unbelievable.
The magic of matrimonial bliss is something that you really convey well, and you make me sorry that I never got married.
Yeah. Oh, you'll be sorry, all right. That's true. You will be sorry. If you haven't noticed, the political divide is more than just when it comes to big national divisive issues and the death of children. We have a great deal of political divide here in California. It might be news to you, especially when we start talking about remapping the congressional districts. And the Republicans are PO'd in Sacramento. And so now they've got a plan, and that is CalExit. Where have I heard that before? Every year for the last 20 years.
Republicans in California were
from NBCLA.
We're not happy with Governor Newsom's plan for redistricting that would take congressional seats away from Republicans here in California. So one leading Republican in the state assembly said, forget about your redistricting plan. We want to leave your state completely. And he came.
I believe that's called a forfeit. Yeah, if one team decides they don't want to play the other team and so they leave the field, that's a forfeit. So, forfeit.
Up with a map and has introduced a resolution in the state assembly to separate California into two states. Let's take a look at that map. Here's what it would look like.
I can't see it. This is radio.
Basically, California would turn into a very much smaller state geographically. It would mainly be the coastal areas, all those inland areas and part of the California to the north near the Oregon border. That would all now be a separate state comprised of about 35 counties and more than 10 million people, still making it one of the biggest states in the country. But
wait a minute. So the Democrats get all the coast and they get the economic engines, and the Republicans get the agricultural economic engine, but a lot of desert and mountains? Kind of surprised they didn't go for more.
In order to accomplish, Matt, that there are some hurdles. This has been tried before.
No.
Has not worked.
What?
And one of the big hurdles is the U.S. Constitution.
It always gets in the way.
Let's show you what the United States Constitution says you have to do to create a new state. It says no new state. This is Article 4, Section 3. It says no new state shall be formed or erected within the jurisdiction of any other state, nor any state be formed by the junction of two or more states or parts of states without the consent of the legislatures of the states concerned, as well as of the Congress. Well, the problem for Republicans here in California is Democrats in the legislature have a supermajority. Here's what one law professor had to say.
In other words, they're trying to forfeit, but the team that's winning won't let them.
It requires a petition from the legislature of any state to the Congress. And the way they do that is by adopting by both houses this joint resolution. It's unlikely that that will pass either house of the legislature. And so if you don't have the consent of the legislature, then there's nothing for the Congress to act on.
Yeah. James Gallagher is the Republican in the state assembly that wants to split it up. He's proposing to split the state in two, and he called it a two-state solution. Oh, now the Republicans want a two-state solution. Isn't that interesting? Huh.
A spokesperson for Governor Newsom put out this statement that said a person who seeks to split California does not deserve to hold office in the Golden State. This is a stunt that will go nowhere. Well, this is what the Republican leader of the assembly who put out this proposal had to say about the governor's statement.
I assure you, it is not a stunt.
Yes, it is.
This is the real feelings of people in my district and throughout this state, of people who feel like this government does not look out for them and does not address their issues. And
so the solution to that is a two-state solution?
When in the course of human events that happens, sometimes people make decisions to move in a different direction.
I mean, it almost sounds he's not advocating violence or anything like that, and so good. I mean, he's trying to do it legislatively. It's not going to go anywhere. It is a stunt, but it is divisive. And he's going to say, well, the Democrats made it divisive. I mean, imagine the Democrats did this in Texas. Then they would say, well, the Democrats are being divisive. And you go, well, no, the Republicans did it when they redrew the map. You see what I mean? I mean, it's like, this is just this left-right nonsense. It goes on and on and on. And Tuwala sent me a note here earlier. He was talking about the shooting in Minneapolis as we were discussing the politicians. He says, we are stuck in a lunacy loop. Boy, I could not agree more. At first, when I heard that he was proposing a two-state solution for California, I thought that James Gallagher was trying to make a point. I thought he was trying to make the Democrats say, no two-state solution would ever work, so that you could say, look, okay, then why are you opposing it? You know, why are you proposing in Israel? That kind of thing. But he didn't. No, I thought at first his stunt was to draw some sort of a hypocrisy with stances on what's going on in Israel. But no, that's not what he did. I thought he was going to. He didn't. Missed opportunity. Why is somebody always trying to break up the state? What do we always hear after the election? If you don't like the way America is, get out. I mean, we're already seeing migrations in some cases, although it's overblown in media, in some cases because of political affiliation. But
it's all a part of the plan, though, Chris.
Oh, it's a plan.
I mean, when you think about how all of these nuts that keep coming up with this plan to break up California, they're all tied to a specific party. I have yet, Mark, do the research if you want, but I have yet to see a Democrat come up with a plan to break up California, to break up, as you called it, Chris, the supermajority.
Yeah, was it, haven't there been some independents that have proposed? Like,
there's a couple of really right-leaning independents because, the one multi-billionaire that had that plan, he turned out to be very, very, very on the right. And I'm not blaming him. And he had great. To me, it's just interesting how it's one specific party or individuals who subscribe to one party's idea that on one hand, trash California. California is the pits. It's an S-hole. People are moving out of California. Get out of there because of the crime, the robbery, And then it's no. But if we break it up and we cut it up into pieces.
And we get some of it and we're able to gerrymander it.
Yeah. That's just weird.
It's very weird. In fairness, though, why would anybody on the left ever propose that when they have the supermajority?
I know. And again,
all these proposals are always going to come from somebody on the right because they're the ones with something to gain. It's like if there's a close call at home plate, the team that gets the call should never argue with the umpire.
Yes!
You know what I mean? Like if you're winning the argument, shut your mouth.
Yeah.
So there's really no reason for the Democrats to argue it. So in fairness, it is likely to come from the right. All right, California is getting dirty, super dirty. In fact, the dirtiest. You'll find out why next. I'm Chris Merrill, KFI AM 640, in for Mo Kelly tonight.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Chris Merrill in for Mo Kelly tonight, KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk. You are a dirty state. You're a dirty, dirty little state. You, as a state, are very dirty. If we were to take a look at one of the dirtiest cities, we are well represented in the top 10. Way too represented in the top 10 from KTLA.
A new study has ranked the dirtiest cities in all of America, and unfortunately for California, the rankings did not go in our favor.
We have more than anybody else. What do you mean it didn't go in our favor? That's very good. Nobody's as dirty as us. Many people are very surprised to see it. No one's ever seen any kind of dirty like this. We're very dirty. More dirty than anybody ever expected.
The rankings come from the national lawn care company Lawn Starter. They analyzed cleanliness in categories such as pollution, living conditions, waste infrastructure, and resident dissatisfaction with the environment. San Bernardino was ranked the dirtiest city both in California and in America.
There you go, San Bernardino, number one. No one thought we could get here, but we did it. We got to number one. I don't know what you've heard, but number one is pretty good.
Los Angeles ranked number 2 on both the state and national list. Detroit, Michigan placed number 3, followed by Reading, Pennsylvania.
I thought Detroit was cleaning up. I get a lot of information from Detroit because I'm originally from Michigan. My parents still live there, and so I keep seeing all these things about the revitalization of Detroit. I thought it was getting cleaner.
2 more California cities placed in the top 10. Ontario was ranked as the 5th dirtiest city. Corona rounded out the top 10 at number 10.
Wow. San Bernardino, number 1. LA, number 2. Ontario, number 5. And Corona, number 10. Let's see. Who else got in there? Newark, New Jersey. Very dirty. Phoenix, Arizona. Well, they get dust storms. New Jersey. It was Jersey City, New Jersey. And then Las Vegas, Nevada was in at number 9. Niner. Well, oh, yeah. I was saying it wrong. No, I said it right.
You're saying
Nevada.
Yeah.
Oh, you're saying Niner like G. Gordon Liddy used to. Is that one of your
Niner?
Inspirations?
In at Niner?
Yeah, Niner.
Yeah, Niner. Yeah. No, it was in Nevada.
Nevada.
In Nevada.
Nevada.
Yeah. Nevada.
Nevada.
Okay, that's enough. Yeah. Who doesn't belong on that list? Again, I thought Detroit was getting cleaned up. Hold on. Pollution rating. Pollution? They've just got cleanliness. Okay. What does that mean? Cleanliness. Does that mean litter? Does that mean graffiti? Okay. Pollution, living conditions, waste infrastructure, resident dissatisfaction.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oof.
I mean, I haven't traveled that much, but I've been to some places that are absolute filth bowls that aren't in California. So I'm just like, what on earth is happening?
Yeah. Well, I was talking about Detroit, but how is Flint not on that list? I mean, we all know Flint has terrible waste infrastructure, right?
We do.
Yeah.
We absolutely do.
Oh, they're not on that list. There's a number of others. Chicago's not on that list.
Chicago's not, that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, automatically, this list should be just thrown out because of that.
I love Chicago, but Chicago is, especially depending where you are, it can be very filthy. And the closer you get to Gary, Indiana, the worse it is. Gary, Indiana should be the top of this list. That is the dirtiest city in America.
Oh, Gary's rough.
I have driven through Gary, Indiana so many times because, again, I family in northern Michigan on the west side, so I go up through Chicago. Sometimes I fly into Chicago and drive up the lakeshore. And Gary is just it is an asshole.
When you drive through Gary, you do so with your doors locked and your windows up. You do not stop. You have a full tank of gas.
I mean, Alabama with their drive-through liquor stores, Mississippi, that it's just pretty dirty. And I'm not talking about the dirt roads. It's just pretty damn dirty. What's happening here? So, who wrote this list?
First of all, don't disparage drive-through liquor stores.
Wait,
Let's start there, bucko.
All right, my bad.
So they got Jersey City, and I apologize. I've only been in New Jersey once, and it was just because I was in Philadelphia and I was staying in New Jersey. But how close is Jersey City to Atlantic City? I honestly don't know. I should know my geography better than this. But I always think of Atlantic City as being a real dump.
I did not like Atlantic City at all. It was gray. The beach was filthy. The water. I was just like, people come here? This is ridiculous. Right? The boardwalk is rickety.
Yeah. I'm looking at my Google now. Yeah. Jersey City's not really close to Atlantic City. So those are two different things. So how does Atlantic City avoid that? Nah. Lawn Starter's list is garbage. Plus there's nobody in Ohio on there. Ohio is trash.
Yeah. Hey, no, seriously?
Just the whole state.
Look, when I lived in Erie and used to have to drive down to Cleveland to go to the Cleveland Clinic, there were places in Ohio where I'm like, people actually live here?
Ashtabula, Ohio.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Whoa
is right.
Oh, man.
In fact, I think Ohio, hang on. I think Ohio has actually become like a Gen Z term for like something really gross. Okay, Gen Alpha is, okay, it's a Gen Alpha term. Okay, what does Ohio mean? Ohio means bad. Ohio means bad. So basically you can use Ohio as a synonym for the word bad, and yet somehow it's not on the list of dirty cities. It's literally, it means bad. So I don't know how they avoided that.
This list is farcical.
Farcical is an understatement. Yeah. Meanwhile, we do have something else that we can crow about a little bit here in California, that we are atop another list yet again. I always think of it as being just a nice place to be, but Santa Barbara tops another list. We'll tell you why. That's next.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Mo Kelly Show, Chris Merrill from Mo tonight, KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk. Congratulations to my friends in Santa Barbara. Just a nice place to be. What a lovely town Santa Barbara is. Santa Barbara beat out USC. Santa Barbara beat out Tulane. Santa Barbara beat out Florida State. Santa Barbara is America's party school destination. UCSB, number one party school in America again. Everybody. I'm in. Can honestly tell you that when I woke up this morning, I did not think I would be playing that song on the radio. So, feeling pretty good about that. Rankings based on student surveys, access to bars, restaurants, athletics, and Greek life at all the schools. If I'm being completely transparent, I went to YouTube to try to find audio for this story. And when I looked up, in fact, here, I'll just do it. UCSB party. It is, I am telling you, like a gajillion videos of parties happening at UC Santa Barbara. They're like, this is an average night, and it's just people getting messed up. And then you've got Diltopia, the biggest party of the UCSB school year, Diltopia. Others are making complete vlogs for the college parties, the frats, the Greek life. So if you are a parent who feels like your kids really need a social outlet and you really don't need all that money, send them to UCSB. At the very least, you'll have a nice reason to visit Santa Barbara to go say hi to your kids. Because why else would you pay the money to send them there? It's funny when you look at other colleges. Harvard is not on that list. No. Princeton, not on that list. I was surprised, though, because I'm looking at the top 10. I've got it in front of me. In fact, let me see. I'll just pull up the full report. I was surprised. When you think of party schools, what do you think? Because I always think of Arizona State. Isn't that like the one that comes to people's mind? Maybe it's because I lived in Arizona that it has that reputation, but I always thought Arizona State was like considered a party school. San Diego State's on the list, number 22. Trying to see if there's any others in California. Why are we so bad at partying here? Anybody have thoughts on that? Anybody want to jump in?
Are we? I thought every college was essentially a party school, and some just kind of a little more and a little less.
Yeah, well, and we're looking at the ones that are a little more. Let me see. San Diego State.
I mean, if you have trouble finding a party at any college, that's kind of on you, isn't it?
USC is, I told you USC is at number 4. Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Because I went to one of those directional schools, and, I mean, we didn't have any trouble finding parties. You could go find trouble if you wanted to. I think some of these get a bit out of hand, though. Let me see. Who else is, I would love to see one of those like religious, like, wouldn't it be great if you saw TCU on there or BYU? Oh my gosh, would it be great if we saw BYU on the top party school list?
Yeah.
I mean, we know that somebody hijacked the data if that happened, right?
No, I have some former Mormon friends, and when they went off, they really went off.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
So the Mormons like to party?
Well,
Provo's the place to be, huh?
The lapsed ones.
Okay.
I got you. Okay.
Righteous.
All right. Very good. Now you know. If you have too much money, send your kids to UCSB. They might not get the best education, but they will definitely get the best experience. So there you are. Chris Merrill from O'Kelly, KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.